So I'm here today with John Rocks. John is a director of My Expedition Rocks, which is a brilliant name for a business, John.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So just kick off and tell us a little bit about My Expedition Rocks.
So we're an outdoor education provider based out of Skipton, teaching anything from rock climbing and mountaineering down to education within schools and educating anything from bushcraft to just exploring the woods and other low-level activities like that.
Great. And who are you working with? What type of clients do you have?
We're primarily working with younger people, but we do work with adults as well. So young people in schools, or we have our rock climbing clubs, and then we also work with adults teaching navigation in around Malham Cove and through to the outcrops of like Ilkley Cowan Calf, teaching rock climbing and so on.
So do you get paid for this, or do you pay somebody else for you to get the opportunity to do all this stuff?
Yeah, it does sound a bit cheeky sometimes when I'm asking people for money to teach them something like this when we're having fun just as much as they are. But at the same time, it does take a lot of work. But yeah, we have great fun, and they do pay us, thankfully. So we can keep the wolf from the door. So
I guess there are other options that people have to go and do this sort of stuff with. What do you think differentiates My Expedition Rocks from the others?
So we take quite a personal approach. We like to get feedback directly from our clients. We are very much about making it targeted to them as opposed to a sausage factory type of approach that some of the mainstream providers may adopt. We also aim quite high with qualifications and experience with our staff, and therefore ensure that they get the best from us, drawing from our experience and our qualifications to make sure that they can leave well equipped, whereas other providers may only just give them the bare essentials. And we have quite long-standing clients that we like to continue to work with and develop as well. Okay.
I guess you've had a few trials and tribulations along the way. One of them probably was the pandemic, COVID-19. How did that go for you?
It wasn't very easy going. The business had only been going for just over a year at that point, and then COVID struck, and it gave us a lot of time for thinking about what we could offer next and new opportunities. So as much as we weren't necessarily swimming too quickly and making ends meet very well, we did come up with lots of new ideas, which most of them are up and running now, and we're getting a lot of good feedback from them, and continue to develop. So yeah, COVID hit us hard, but I'd like to see it as a good opportunity for us to rethink our brand and our approach with our clients.
So what are the sort of things that you're doing now that you weren't doing before?
The climbing club is something that came out of that. We had a lot of climbers on our holiday clubs, and people talking about climbing. And the Olympics in 2021 was the first time it was on a big stage as well. So we had a lot of people not quite sure where to go next. They weren't finding indoor climbing centres very appealing. So we opened up a climbing club outdoors, and it's taken off. We've just started our second climbing club now to accommodate numbers. The climbing club's been amazing, really.
Great.
Really
good stuff. So what about the future? What does that look like, and what kind of challenges might you have ahead?
So the current crisis is making life a little bit tricky. So we're just looking at ways to help our clients keep it all affordable, and not feeling like it's too big a task. We're fully aware that the outdoors, and we've been to a few workshops and so on about mental health and what the outdoors can do to help with that. So we want to make it affordable, and we are looking at other clubs, trying to look for something for adults as well now, and families. And we're also looking at adventure days around Malham Cove and other local hotspots that are fantastic for families and just general inspiration, really, to engage people in the outdoors. So we're looking at those for the next year or so, and then possibly looking a little bit further afield, Lake District or even abroad over the next couple of years, which would be which I'm quite excited about, because it means I can go and pay a visit to do a little recce as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you keep freshening things up, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. But try not to deviate too much now, and just trying to hone on exactly what we're offering.
So what have you learned along the way, John? What's been the big learnings for you?
Oh, that's a good question. The biggest thing I've learned along the way is, I suppose, work with what my clients. I work quite closely with my clients. I've got a lot of repeat clients, and I keep a nice open dialogue with all of them to see what they're after, what works for them, and without being too open with lots of ideas, I try and narrow down the larger voice of the crowd, and adapt my business that way. So, for example, the adventure days, everyone was looking for something a bit more meaty, not quite climbing, but not quite walking, something in between that offered a bit of something for everyone. So that's the reason why the adventure days became quite a cool choice for them to look at and take the family out, take their partners out with.
Yeah. And if you were starting all over again, what might you do differently, and what advice might you be able to pass on to people if they were going through a similar experience?
Try and avoid COVID-19 would be the first one. But if starting out again, I would, I don't know if I'd do anything very differently. It's all been a very positive learning curve, as difficult it's been, but it's starting the whole business is difficult, and it's hard to say I'd be able to do it again any differently. Really, it's been a learning curve since day one, so it's been tricky. And I've forgotten the second part of your question there. Sorry, mate.
Any advice you might give to anyone who's starting off in business generally?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to chat to your clients as well. My clients, I'll talk to them openly about certain aspects of their the offerings I have with them, and my trusted clients will give me honest feedback, and it's perfect. I could try and guess what the feedback is going to be, but they're going to give me the best feedback possible, and when they give me it, they're always open and honest, which is great.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you very much, John. Really appreciate that.